Good morning. My name is Evelyn Pace, and I serve as the Special Projects Chair for the Dallas chapter of the United Nations Association, USA. We will now begin the recognition of our Global Leadership Award recipients, and I am pleased to present the first two awards. Goal 1, No Poverty. The goal of Sustainable Development Goal 1 is to end poverty in all its forms, everywhere by 2030. Poverty has many dimensions, but its causes include unemployment, social exclusion, and the high vulnerability of certain populations. The private sector has a major role to play in determining whether the growth it creates is inclusive and contributes to poverty reduction. It can promote economic opportunities for the poor. So as an example, we are so pleased to present the award for Sustainable Development Goal 1, No Poverty, to Chad Hauser, founder, CEO, executive chef at Café Momentum. Just a few words. Café Momentum, a Dallas-based restaurant and culinary training facility, transforms young lives by equipping our community's most at-risk youth with life skills, education, coaching, and employment opportunities. Since January 2015, Café Momentum has worked with more than 750 young men and women through its 12-month internship program. The model has proven that with the right support and care, these youth can achieve their true full potential. Congratulations, Chad Hauser and Café Momentum. Chad?
Well, first I'd like to say I'm grateful that you guys unmuted me, because for the last 8 months, I think my new last name has turned into you're on mute. I've always claimed to be a man of few words. It just takes a lot of words to get to those few words, but today I have no words. I'm incredibly humbled to be in the company that I'm in. I look around this wall of faces, and I could go through each face and talk about the impact that you've made on my life personally, and the support and guidance and mentorship and path that you've provided. So I'm just incredibly grateful, and I'm incredibly honored because this afternoon I'll get to go spend time with 35 young men and young ladies, and I'll get to tell them about this award. And their smile on their face will show every indication that they won this award, that this is about them, and their belief in themselves, and the community rallying around them to give them the space and platform to do so. So on behalf of all of those young men and women, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Goal 2, zero hunger. The goal of Sustainable Development Goal 2 is to end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. We are so pleased to present the award for Sustainable Development Goal 2, Zero Hunger, to Cheryl Action Jackson and Minnie's Food Pantry. Cheryl Action Jackson is a keynote speaker, award-winning social entrepreneur, author, TV host, and producer. She has persevered from experiencing hunger to providing more than 9 million meals to children and families through her award-winning organization, Minnie's Food Pantry, a charity she founded to honor her mother, the late Dr. Minnie Hawthorne Ewing. Minnie's Food Pantry provides healthy meals, educational resources, and red carpet treatment to every person that they serve. They believe that overall wellness begins with food, health, and financial education. And their ultimate goal is to provide programs that help families gain long-term food security. Minnie's Food Pantry has changed the stigma associated with hunger by creating a mission and core values based on treating people, all people, with dignity, integrity, and respect. Congratulations, Cheryl Action Jackson and Minnie's Food Pantry.
Thank you
Cheryl?
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be on this platform with all the other award recipients, and thank you to the United Nations, this Dallas chapter, for acknowledging the work that I do. I will tell you that I don't understand how a girl that grew up in poverty is sitting on this platform with the most incredible people, but I will also tell you that I know how I got there in terms of who helped me get here, and that was my family. I'm so delighted to have a mother, Miss Minnie, who I named the pantry after, who've gone on to be with the Lord, but I'm sure she's watching her little girl right now and smiling, who taught me about giving back and the honor that you receive when you give to others. And then I'm thankful for my immediate family, my sons, Robert and Artis, and my daughters, Zoya and Chelsea, and my husband, Artis Jackson, and my grandkids, who have walked this journey of over almost 13 years with me. And they have echoed my voice along with the thousands of people in our community that says that nobody deserves to go to bed hungry. And when they come into your presence and you know they need a meal, that you should literally roll out the red carpet, which is what didn't happen to me and what inspired me to say it's time to feed people the right way, and not just do it the right way, but to give them healthy meals. That has been our voice of the people, that every person deserves a healthy meal. And I'm so delighted that the corporations in our community have said, yes, we will gather with you. I'm so delighted that we started Minnie's Food Pantry with just 2 cans of corn and the first and last month's rent. And because of all of the people via social media or wherever they came from, they heard our voice and they said, let's just keep expanding this. And now we have 4 locations, and we're literally about to build our first one from the ground in Dallas, Texas, right across the street from the poverty area that I grew up in, that I promised my mother on the day that she died that I would build a Minnie's Food Pantry where we grew up, and we bought that land. And so this is to everybody who helped us get to this promised land. I say thank you. And I tell you, to the United Nations, the work that you do, that we are delighted that you have recognized what we are doing. And we're just on the ground level. The best is yet to come, boots on the ground. We have now served almost 15 million meals since COVID has hit. And I thank you to all of my employees, to my volunteers, and to the staff that said when COVID hit on March the 15th, we went from working 3 days, 4 days to 7 days a week. And we went from doing it at our location to simultaneously around this community. We were doing 4 and 5 giveaways at the schools, at the colleges, all at the same time, because we were committed, and we still are, and we always will be. So thank you for this honor. It doesn't come lighthearted. I didn't know what I would say because I've cried, and I've just thanked God for every person that said, Cheryl, we will join with you in forces. Minnie's Food Pantry, we are here to stay, and we're growing because of you. So thank you for the recognition. It is an honor.
Yes, yes. I feel like we need to pass the plate right now. We can just pass the plate.
That's minniesfoodpantry.org. That's minniesfoodpantry.org, just in case.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sustainable Development Goal 3 seeks to ensure health and well-being for all at every stage of life. Currently, the world is facing a global health crisis unlike anything we've ever seen. COVID-19 is spreading human suffering, destabilizing the global economy, and upending the lives of billions of people across the globe. Millions of healthcare workers, physicians, nurses, technicians, and other healthcare professionals face the everyday challenge of providing care for patients with COVID while risking their own lives to save others. No one knows this hard truth more than that of Dr. Matthew Leveno and Pam Farrington, two healthcare warriors on the front lines of COVID at Parkland Health and Hospital System. Dr. Leveno and Ms. Farrington's dedication, compassion, and bravery symbolizes everything we've come to admire about our healthcare heroes. Their sacrifice and commitment is remarkable. Dr. Leveno and Ms. Farrington, we've all heard the pleas from healthcare workers for more gowns, face shields, masks, and ventilators. These are real pleas and real needs from real people. But you know what you two have taught us that have never been in short supply? Commitment, loyalty, responsibility, duty, and honor. And that is why we could not be more pleased to honor you both with the UN Day Global Leadership Award for good health and well-being. Well done. Dr. Leveno, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Extremely kind. Good morning to everybody. It is truly an honor to be here to represent the countless people at Parkland and UT Southwestern that have dedicated themselves to the health and well-being of our community during this COVID response. You know, Parkland and its mission have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. My first trips to Parkland were in the late 1970s. During those weekend runs with my father to his office in the obstetrical department at Parkland. It was during those trips that he would tell me the stories about what makes Parkland and our staff so special. It was not just their dedication and their commitment, it was a relentlessness and a resilience that makes them great. And I think this has all been part of my journey to be here at Parkland. But this morning, I'd like to share a little bit about the COVID response at Parkland and thank the numerous groups that have made it possible. Things that work well are often overlooked, and we are fortunate to work at a hospital with a central leadership team that recognized and met our needs. Whether it was the space, or the equipment, medications, or the personal protective equipment that everybody talks about, Parkland and its executive leadership team anticipated where possible and responded when needed to provide us with all the necessary tools. To all those at Parkland supporting the frontline staff, we thank you. I would also like to thank all those in the community that have been supporting our efforts. Their letters, their cards, decorated our units, and the donated meals were a constant reminder that our efforts were appreciated.
Next, we have goal number 4.
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh, pardon me. Pardon me.
You guys gave me 6 minutes because Pam said I could speak for her too. So I'm going to take it. Is that okay?
Sure, no problem.
All right, good.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I would like to spend the rest of my time, and I'll go quickly, thanking all the people who have been at the bedside with us these last several months. A few of us, like me, are simply doing our job. I'm a pulmonologist. I'm a critical care physician. You know, a pandemic from a respiratory illness, that lands squarely in my lap. However, the vast majority of the individuals who stepped forward to build and maintain the COVID response could not have been expected to do so. One of my partners and fellow award recipients, Pam Farrington, has been a surgical nurse and a surgical ICU nurse manager at Parkland for 18 years. I assure you that she would not have considered caring for patients with a respiratory viral illness to be her area of expertise. But here she is. She's been an inspiration and a much needed source of stability to the many nurses that we assembled from every corner of our institution. From the outside, I think people may have some understanding of the fears that our team had to overcome to care for patients in the tactical care unit and the sacrifices they made, that many of them isolated themselves from their children and their loved ones for the first several months as we struggled to determine whether or not we were safe. And Pam was right there with them. She helped build a community of nurses that came from every ICU in the hospital, our surgical ICU, our burn ICU, neuro ICU, and our cardiopulmonary units. All of these nurses with different skills and different personalities, she managed to blend it all together into a single cohesive structure. It was not an easy task. I'd like to thank all of our brave nurses, and thank you, Pam, for keeping us together. I'd also like to thank the respiratory therapists who volunteered to face this challenge with us. I've watched many of you grow and evolve. Your clinical skills have been invaluable. Our pharmacists, our dietitian, our therapists, I've relied on you more heavily than I ever have before. The demands on you grew exponentially as the weeks wore on, and you always responded. Thank you to our OR techs, our OR support staff, and our environmental services that have been manning our unit to make sure that not just our patients, but our staff is safe. Your presence and your efforts are a constant source of tranquility. I want to thank the trauma surgeons and the emergency medicine faculty that joined us to provide much needed physician coverage, and to our consultants and colleagues in internal medicine, infectious disease, WISH, and cardiology. You help us provide better care, and in sharing the load, you have given us longevity. I want to give a very special thank you to the certified registered nurse anesthetists. You were there with me on day one. You stepped in and took on the most feared role in caring for patients with COVID, getting them intubated and putting on a ventilator. You had no idea, and neither did I, that was just the beginning of your journey. You took on more and more responsibility, and you've become central to the ongoing care of our most critically ill. Your courage and talent is inspiring. Finally, I would like to call attention to the most difficult part of caring for patients with COVID, the isolation of our patients from their loved ones. It is unimaginable, but there have been countless patients and families separated from one another at the time when they need each other most. Through that all, the palliative care team has supported the team, the patients, and their loved ones as we assume the role of surrogate family to give that hospital unit the feeling of a safe, comfortable, and caring home. The palliative care team is a daily point of contact for our patients' families, and they are the lifeline, not only for the families, but for our team. They always remind us when it's time to celebrate our victories, and they are always there trying to protect us from our losses. We are forever grateful. The last 8 to 9 months, as exhausting as they've been, have provided me and our team with countless reminders of why we do what we do and why we do it at Parkland. We are stronger for it. So from all of us at Parkland, thank you for your support and recognition.
Can I go on? Okay.
Yes.
Next, we have goal number 4, quality education. Obtaining a quality education is the foundation for improving the lives of people and opening the doors of knowledge. Dr. Candice Bledsoe is a community leader, enlightened thinker, professor, and executive director of the Action Research Center. Dr. Bledsoe's research explores access, equity, and addresses the stories of underrepresented communities through the collective Telling Our Stories, Women of Color, and the Power of Narratives. The Action Research Center provides tools and resources for young students so they can become successful leaders in their communities. Dr. Bledsoe, we are so pleased to present you this award for SDG number 4, quality education. Congratulations, Dr. Bledsoe.
When we dare to speak in a liberatory voice, We threaten even those who may initially want our words. In the act of overcoming our fear, we end global domination. We must speak. These are the words of Bell Hooks. And in her work, Teaching to Transgress, she talks about education being the practice of freedom. And as an educator, mother, innovator, social entrepreneur, I wholeheartedly believe in education being the practice of freedom. On this United Nations Day, I'm honored to accept the UN Day Global Leadership Award in the area of sustainable goal number 4, the quality of education. And I thank my student, John, for introducing me today. I would also like to thank my family and friends who've been extremely supportive during this time. You know, I'm also reminded of a quote by James Baldwin, and it says that nothing can be changed until it is faced. And that is, in the spirit of excellence, how we must tackle the challenges ahead in the area of education with the spirit of excellence. So I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank all of the recipients today. And I want to thank the Action Research Center, the collective Telling Our Stories, Women of Color and the Power of Narratives, as we continue to move forward so that we can continue to keep the legacy of Mary McLeod Bethune, Fannie Lou Hamer, and all the women that came before us, including Ida B. Wells. Thank you again, United Nations Association of Dallas Chapter, and I am so honored to accept this award today.
Next, we have goal number 5, gender equality. Gender equality is not only a fundamental human right, but also a necessary tool for building a peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous world. Gender should never be a determining factor in terms of who is eligible for live services and who isn't. And it should also not be a factor when determining whether or not women should get equal pay for the equal work they do compared to their male counterparts. We are so pleased to present this award to Mr. Michael Hsu. He is the chairman and chief executive officer of the Kimberly-Clark Corporation. Mr. Hsu, congratulations on receiving this award for SDG number 5, gender equality.
Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. This goal promotes sustainable economic growth that will require societies to create the conditions that allow people to have quality jobs, which in turn will improve their living standards. Kanarys is the only tech platform that fuels progress towards a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace culture. They are able to achieve this by sharing individual experiences and normalizing transparency in order to benefit all people. Congratulations, Mandy Price, the CEO and co-founder of Kanarys, as a recipient of goal number 8.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here today. Kanarys' data-driven platform helps organizations really address the inequities that we've seen so long from a systemic and institutional basis. But more than that, we provide the data so that employees can make career decisions to help promote their economic empowerment and discover companies that prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion. The data and insights that we uncover help cultivate diverse and inclusive work environments while providing a pathway to closing the racial wealth gap that we see in our country. Like most entrepreneurs, I'm driven by passion. When I was practicing law, I saw firsthand the struggles that organizations have to create diverse and inclusive environments and to also foster that environment where employees feel comfortable speaking up and speaking out about the challenges that they're having in the workplace without fear of retaliation or any kind of retribution to their career. So I saw firsthand, and I'm so excited and want to also acknowledge the work the entire Kanarys team has done, because I could not do it on my own. It's a team effort to ensure that we're creating a work environment where every employee's voice is heard, and that we are ensuring that we are addressing these issues from a data-driven perspective. Those employees' voices matter, and it's going to take all of us to create change in the workplace. We are so grateful and humbled to be recognized by the UN for our work as we work together to forge a path towards more equitable workplaces for all. Thank you.
Moving on to goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. This goal emphasizes building resilient infrastructures, promoting sustainable industrialization, and fostering innovation. Investments in infrastructures such as transportation, irrigation, energy and information, and communication technology are crucial to achieving sustainable development and empowering communities in many countries. It has been recognized that growth in productivity and incomes and improvements in health and education outcomes require investments in infrastructures. Erricson integrates sustainability and corporate responsibility into the company strategy in order to drive business transformation and create value for stakeholders. The company measures and evaluates its environmental, social, and economic performance. The work is a continuous journey in strategy development that covers 3 focus areas: responsible business, environmental sustainability, and digital inclusion. Congratulations, Niklas Heuveldop, the Senior Vice President and Head of Market Area of North America for Erricson, as a recipient of goal number 9. Okay. Moving on to goal number 10, reduced inequalities. To reduce inequalities, policies need to be universal in principle, paying a keen attention to the needs of disadvantaged and marginalized populations. And Macy Badamus is a prime example of those who are fighting to equalize the scale of equality for all people, especially in the United States. She has assisted thousands of clients who have sought assistance with complex immigration rules so they could avoid the missteps that can delay or even cause denial of their applications. With her unique Immigration Made Easy program, her clients can focus on personal and business goals rather than worrying about immigration problems. Congratulations, Anne Macy Badmus, as this year's recipient of goal number 10.
Good morning, everyone, and congratulations to all of my fellow award recipients today. Thank you all for all you do to make the world a better place. And thank you to the United Nations Association Dallas for the work you do to build a better future for us all. I am so impressed by your leadership and honored and humbled to receive this year's award for Sustainable Development Goal number 10, Reducing Inequalities. Income inequality continues to persist globally, so it's extremely important, I believe, that we work towards and find ways to reduce inequalities. And one of those ways, I believe, is through fair immigration laws that allow people to pursue opportunities globally. For nearly 30 years, I have been very fortunate to help thousands of hardworking and ambitious people who seek to make a better life for themselves and, more importantly, to contribute to their adopted country, the United States. Immigration is not an easy process in any country, and the United States is no different. So as an immigration attorney, I love to advocate for the fair treatment of my clients as their lives are scrutinized through the immigration process. And I proudly advocate for changes to our immigration laws to make the system more equitable and more accessible. The work I have done has always brought me joy, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve the immigrant communities. As many countries recognize and the facts bear out, immigration boosts our economy and is an engine of opportunity and growth. So it only makes sense to advocate for a robust and fair immigration system in every country, and I urge all of you to do so. In closing, I want to thank my team at Badmus and Associates for their dedication and professionalism. Christina, Celsa, Benita, Dianelli, I love working with you every day to help our clients. I could not do this work without you. I also want to, of course, thank my clients for entrusting me to be a small part of making their American dream come true. And of course, I want to thank my family, my husband, Dr. Tariq Badmus, my children, Morenike, Iomide, and Yemisi for their everlasting support. And thank you again, United Nations Associations, for this tremendous honor. And congratulations for another successful annual United Nations Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. It is now time to recognize SDG number 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. The world's population is constantly increasing, and to accommodate everyone, we need to build modern, sustainable cities. A future must be established in which cities provide opportunities for all, with access to basic services, energy, housing, transportation, and so much more. Tricia Lowe is the president of Sustainable Concepts, a consulting firm focusing on high-performance buildings. Her work involves all types of green building certifications, providing the knowledge, tools, and resources that her clients need to achieve each of their specific sustainable building goals. Thank you, Tricia, for all that you do, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I have a great deal of respect for the leaders and members of this organization and for my fellow award recipients, and it's such an honor to receive this award in the area of sustainable cities and communities. I began my journey in sustainable development with a passion for solar energy. Having lived in the South for my entire life, I thought, after all, the sun is our most abundant resource. Why waste it and not capture it for clean, renewable energy? So as I studied solar energy and sustainable design, I realized that there's much more to it than energy efficiency. True sustainable cities and communities manage development so that they're not only energy efficient, but they work well for the people who inhabit them. People who live in sustainable cities and communities benefit from access to public transportation, which gives them access to opportunity, to education, to healthcare, to culture and community. They benefit from clean air, which lowers rates of asthma and other diseases. They have healthy food choices close to their home. They're less likely to be sidelined by natural disasters because their homes and communities are more resilient. In fact, I consider sustainable cities and communities a foundational goal because without the existence of sustainable cities and communities, many of the other goals would be much more difficult to achieve, such as eliminating poverty, eliminating hunger, giving people access to quality education, and good health and well-being. And I discovered that it's good for business too. After starting my business, Sustainable Concepts, I learned that sustainable development creates good, profitable companies that support jobs and a healthy economy. I'm proud of my work to make cities and communities more sustainable and for the opportunity to leave the world a better place. And I thank you again for this honor.
Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Our planet has provided us with an abundance of natural resources. However, we have not always utilized them properly. Responsible consumption and production starts with all of us, and we urgently need to address our ecological footprint through prevention, reduction, recycling, and reuse. Recycle Revolution is an independent, non-landfilled recycling and compost collection service and community drop-off center right here in Dallas, Texas. Maria Lott, the co-founder and director of growth and development at Recycle Revolution, states, "Our future depends on how we take care of our environment. Recycling will be a common word and each person an active participant." Thank you, Maria, for leading the revolution.
Gosh, it's such an honor. I'm so surprised that we received this award. I'm flattered. and I'm extremely grateful to the United Nations Association. You know, every time I think of Recycle Revolution, I think of us as a team, you know, because it takes all of us to drive our mission, to drive our goal. And I would like to thank all of us at Recycle Revolution, all our team members, starting from Eddie, Jeannie, Apolinar, Anthony, Jane, Manuel, Rosa, Erica, Araceli, Stephen, Yesenia, Yolanda, Sarah, and all the other alumni of the Recycle Revolutionary team, as well as all of our clients that believe in the same mission that we are going through and that we're trying to accomplish. It is my take on this whole sustainability that when we are gone, or maybe of course, while we're still alive and we're still gonna pass everything on to our children, to our grandchildren, to the next generations and generations after us, that they will live a healthy, happy life and become more sustainable and just keep on living. But we've got to do this as a team, and it is hard work, but we just need to keep on doing it for their benefit. It's not just us, it's for all of us that's coming up and in the future. So, but thank you. We are truly honored to receive this wonderful award. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Sustainable Development Goal 15, life on land. Nature is critical to our survival. Preserving diverse forms of life on land requires targeted efforts to protect, restore, and promote the conservation and sustainable use of our ecosystems. With an exploding population in North Texas, we've seen a record level of habitat loss and fragmentation, squeezing wildlife and nature into an even smaller corner of our community. However, just 10 miles south of downtown Dallas, you'll find the Trinity River Audubon Center, the largest urban hardwood forest in the US with a diverse community of plant and animal species. It is our esteemed honor to recognize Shelley White, Center Director and the driving force behind the Trinity River Audubon Center. Shelley and her team represent the gold standard in managing forests sustainably, halting land and natural habitat degradation, and successfully curbing biodiversity loss, benefiting generations to come. Congratulations, Shelley.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this honor and for recognizing the work we do here at Trinity River Audubon Center. And of course, I say we, just like many of you have said, it truly takes a village, and I cannot take the credit for the work we have done here. This honor also goes to my team, volunteers, and the many supporters we have. And I just have to say, as an aside, this is such an amazing group, and to be recognized in your presence, I am truly humbled. I've had tears in my eyes during this meeting more times than I care to admit, to be quite honest. I'm truly humbled to be recognized with you. At Trinity River Audubon Center, we focus on conservation, climate, habitat management, environmental education, and of course, birds. Birds are excellent indicators of our ecosystem health. They are literally the canary in the coal mine for the health of our land. And birds are indicators of the ecosystems that we share with them. And our mission is to protect those birds and the places they need today and tomorrow. And by doing so, we hope to address the underlying causes of climate change. The Earth is getting warmer. This is causing issues for all living things. Decreasing lands and forests contribute to the climate issue, and with the loss of habitat comes the loss of megafauna as well. But I have found that people care. Look at this group here, in fact. Look at our community. We at the Trinity River Audubon Center also must do our part. We're teaching kids and adults about our valuable resources, including the Trinity Forest and the Trinity River. We want to make an impact in this world, or even better, we want to not make an impact in our world and turn the tide quite literally on climate change. Our building was built on top of a reclaimed former landfill. Please see the YouTube video out of Deepwood for more information about that. But if stacked, the trash here would have reached as tall as the Empire State Building. This building is designed not only to minimize the adverse effects of the environment, but also to repair some of the pre-existing environmental problems on the site. And we were also the first LEED certified gold Dallas Park and Recreation Department project. Thank you again so much for this honor. I'm truly humbled, and thank you for recognizing the work we do.
Thank you, Shelley. Goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. The goal of Sustainable Development Goal 16 is to provide access to justice for all and building effective, accountable institutions at all levels. We are pleased to present the Global Leadership Award for Sustainable Development Goal 16, Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions, to Gautami Pamela Keiho. Gautama is the founder, president, and an active consultant of Color Me Safe, LLC, a family crisis management consulting firm in Dallas, specializing in child welfare issues. She provides a voice for underrepresented families, especially immigrants going through the Child Protective Services system, and raises awareness about the child welfare laws of Texas, child abuse and neglect, and bullying prevention and intervention. A special congratulations, Gautami Pamela Keiho.
Thank you, Evelyn, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gautami Pamela Keiho, and it is with gratitude and humility that I accept this distinguished award. I'm beyond honored to be included with this impressive group of trailblazers. I'm the founder of Color Me Safe, a family crisis management consulting firm that specializes in providing guidance and solutions in child welfare issues. When we first started Color Me Safe, it was to empower and educate families and communities in matters of child welfare, especially in advocating, consulting, and helping families navigate through the complex system of child protective services. You know, often families feel powerless and helpless dealing with government institutions as child protective services, and they need an advocate by their side to ensure their rights are protected and institutions are held accountable. You know, when families are referred to us, they're often traumatized, helpless. They're scared, they're lost with the fear their children may be taken away and not knowing what to do or who to turn to. We've helped families with some of the most heartbreaking cases, such as a family that had their 3-month-old baby removed after going to the ER for an isolated incident that was completely taken out of proportion. The parents were recent immigrants, their English wasn't polished, and in that stressful situation, they were not able to explain satisfactorily to what had happened. And unfortunately, went on for months and spent thousands in attorney fees before their family was able to reunite. And in another case, we were able to guide a victim of domestic violence whose daughter was also being sexually abused by her own father. He was well connected and was using the laws to his advantage. And in this case, CPS initially misunderstood the dynamics of what was happening, and we were able to help make her case heard. And at the end, justice prevailed. You know, to us, it's not about a paycheck or closing a case file. It's when a family comes back to us months later saying, "Thank you for keeping my family together." We work directly with families from all backgrounds, and in some cases on a pro bono basis. Family law and immigration attorneys, daycares and schools, and organizations which directly work with women and children who are victims of domestic violence. You know, I'm super proud to share this, but we'll be taking Color Me Safe nonprofit in the next couple of months so we can expand our services and serve a larger population. But most importantly, to make sure that no family is left behind because of financial reasons. I see this UN sustainable goal, peace, justice, and strong institutions as crucial as the foundation for a healthy and sustainable society where citizens and families can all thrive. Because only when the rights of the voiceless are protected can we have peace, justice, and strong institutions. And this is achieved when institutions are held accountable and empowered and educated citizens and families, often the weakest link of the system. I'd like to take this opportunity and share this award with my fellow colleagues at Color Me Safe, my family and friends who have always supported and encouraged me, and the UNA Dallas chapter for recognizing the work we do. Finally, I would like to end with this quote by Mahatma Gandhi: "The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members." Namaste. God bless each of you. I encourage you to continue to inspire, empower, and impact the world in your own special way. God bless.
Thank you so much. Goal 17, partnerships to achieve the goal. The goal of Sustainable Development Goal 17 is to revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. It highlights the need for cross-sector and cross-geo collaboration in pursuit of the goals by year 2030. We are pleased to present the Global Leadership Award for SDG 17 to John Stankey, President and Chief Operating Officer at AT&T. AT&T recently announced a $500,000 donation to several Dallas agencies that help Black and underserved communities in the region. The contribution is a part of the global company's ongoing Believe Dallas initiative to help prevent and mitigate homelessness. One recipient of the Believe Dallas initiative, the Real Estate Council, has created an affordable housing gentrification prevention fund to work with developers to acquire and build affordable homes in Southern Dallas. John Stankey has been quoted when speaking of AT&T that our purpose is to create connection with each other, with what people need to thrive in their everyday lives, and with the stories and experiences that matter. Congratulations to John Stankey and AT&T.
Wonderful. It is now time to recognize our final awardee today. It is my honor to present the Eleanor Roosevelt Lifetime Achievement Award for this year. This award is bestowed upon a person whose lifetime body of work has had a positive and long-lasting impact on human rights. In the year 2000, Bill began volunteering as a pro bono lawyer with the Human Rights Initiative of North Texas, joining a team of passionate advocates and legal professionals. The Human Rights Initiative offers free legal and social services to people who have suffered human rights abuses, including asylum seekers, those protected under the Violence Against Women Act, immigrants who have faced domestic abuse, and human trafficking victims. In 2012, Bill became the executive director of the organization, continuing to work in the trenches alongside his colleagues and leading a group of lawyers and volunteers with caring dedication and compassion. Two things especially dear to hold on to in a year like 2020, with a constant shifting climate. Bill has been quoted stating these important words that we can take to heart when addressing the never-ending quest of achieving human rights for all. Whatever you do, whatever skills you have, you can play a role. Mr. Bill Holston, we thank you for the role that you have played in so many people's lives from all over the world, right here in North Texas. We honor you today with the 2020 Eleanor Roosevelt Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It really, several of you have said the same thing, which is it's very humbling to receive an award, particularly alongside so many of you who have done so many things to make our community better. And I was struck as Dr. Leveno speaking by the honoring thought that our agency was co-founded by his sister, Betsy Leveno Healy. And she, along with Serena Connolly, cast the vision for doing free legal services with excellence. And so that is the legacy that I've tried to continue. And I just thank the United Nations Association for this honor. It's really important that me, as a white privileged man, state in an unequivocal fashion that I support the idea that Black Lives Matter. And it's important to note that we stand here in a city built by stolen labor of enslaved people on land taken from the original inhabitants, the Caddo and the Wichita and other nations. And we stand for the rights of all people, for Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, as well as the rights of people in the LGBTQ community. And we stand for them. We believe in the mission of the United Nations, and we stand committed to the principles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which state that everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. I've been representing asylum seekers pro bono for over 25 years. It has always been difficult work, but it's never been more difficult than in the last year. Today, as we enjoy our weekend, it's important to note the following. Our country is forcing asylum seekers to wait at their peril in Mexico, where they are subject to abduction and murder and rape every day in these dangerous border cities. Using the excuse of COVID, we have completely shut our borders and are summarily rejecting asylum seekers and sending them back to their peril. We read this week, there are hundreds of children that our country took from their parents, and we will never be able to put that back together again. And that's on us and our conscience as a country. And all of these actions are based on the white supremacist ideology, which we all need, particularly white people like myself, need to oppose with our vigor. This morning, I want to specifically remember the Black asylum seekers from the Congo and Cuba and Haiti and Cameroon that are jailed 45 minutes from here at Prairie Land Detention Center. Just 2 weeks ago, we expelled 80 of them to certain harm back to Cameroon. So the principle of the United Nations of non-refoulement that came out of the Holocaust, where we vowed we would not return people to harm, we're violating that frequently. And we certainly did it with those 80 people that had fled as torture survivors to come here to the United States to seek refuge, because that's what we've been known for as a country, but we returned them to harm. And I'd like to really call out the work of our siblings at the North Texas Dream Team and Raíces, whose organizers were out at Prairie Land, standing in front of buses, trying to stop that. I want to accept this honor really on behalf of the brave, resilient people that I've had the privilege of representing for 25 years. I state with all the passion I can muster that our country is better off because of the immigrants who choose to come here. And I accept this award on their behalf, as well as my staff of 16 resilient people who have worked throughout this entire period of we were essential workers. So we're in our offices, we're representing people, we're distributing rent checks, we're distributing emergency food aid. My staff, at the risk of their own health, are there standing for our clients. But it's our clients that I really want to honor, because they're such brave, resilient people. And I'm just honored to work with such a great group of all women in my organization that I have the privilege of leading. It's my privilege to serve alongside of them and to be the colleague of all of you. I'm very, very honored by this, and thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Bill Holston. We appreciate you. At this time, let's, get ourselves together after our tears and congratulations, and we would love to capture this historic moment. So if you don't mind staring straight into your lovely computer or iPad or phone camera so that we can take a photo and just kind of, get your Tyra Banks on for a moment to make sure that we get everyone in and record this historic moment on this day. Bo, if you can let us know when you're ready, we will be ready.
Okay, so I'm going to take 3 different slides, so bear with me. So everyone say cheese. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to next one. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, keep your smiles up, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Everyone looks so lovely.
1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go.
Thank you so much, Bo. I appreciate that. Before we conclude the program today, I want to say thank you again to our sponsors, our volunteer judges, and also the board and council of our UNA chapter for making this day a success. Kai, Bo, Evelyn, and John, this could not have happened without you, so thank you all very much. I appreciate all of the work that you have done for this United Nations Day 2020. And while different from years in the past, still just as, if not more, special. To each of our global leaders recognized today, it is our honor to live, work, and serve alongside you in our North Texas community. Congratulations again. The Sustainable Development Goals that have been recognized are an overlapping and ongoing charge to all of us. As you have heard, they are an established blueprint for dignity, peace, and prosperity for people and the planet now and in the future. What does that even mean for you? What new things have you learned today? People who you have now virtually met, tools and resources that are now available to you through this award program today. I encourage you to think about your now, right now. Just take a moment. This was a lot presented to you today in the most glorious fashion. As we continue to navigate through this very interesting year, the future part of the plan is coming straight ahead, right in front of us, more quickly than we could have imagined. That urgency is part of what we need to use to go forward as partners in progress. Make United Nations Day every day, and we will have even more to celebrate this time next year. Thank you everyone for joining us this Saturday morning. We appreciate the time that you have taken out to make this a success. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and please stay in touch with us. We are here for you and for each other. Thank you.